Salut tout le monde, bienvenue sur ma chaîne, j'espère que vous allez tous bien. Aujourd'hui, je vais partager avec vous 8 conseils that you can use while preparing for your DELF exam, DELF A2 to be precise. En fait, il n'y a pas beaucoup de différence entre la préparation pour le DELF A1 et la préparation pour le DELF A2. Mais many of you asked me to make a video on DELF, on the preparation of DELF A2 and B1 as well. So I thought, why not? Because B1 se pehle it's better that I cover the A2 part also. So without any further ado, Alonzi. Okay, number one tip is exactly same as for DELF A1, is that you should be well versed with numbers, months, days of the week. In short, you should be able to tell and recognize and understand when somebody is talking about date and time and month and time of the year. You should be able to catch that, because that will help you in many of the comprehension de l'oral questions. Number two is mots-clés. You should be able to understand and pick up the mots-clés. Mots-clés is the keywords, because at this level, even at this level, you will not be very comfortable with tenses, because a few of the tenses are already introduced in the A2 classes, but most of the students are still not comfortable with the tenses. So I would suggest focus on finding and grabbing the keywords, because that will help you answer the questions very smartly and very fast, because DELF exams are a matter of time management, and if you can pick out the answers very quickly, it will save you some time, and then you can focus that free time, use that free time in the questions that you could not do earlier, or maybe just go through your answers once again, ensuring that you answered them correctly. So that's a plus point. Okay, number three is understanding the themes. Themes, as in the document that the question is talking about, is related to something cultural, sportive, political, economical, health related. Basically, what is the theme of that document? Because once you figure that out, your mind, your brain can now start to look for the vocabulary according to the theme, and that will save you time. And this is like a very subtle tip that will help you Réussir your DELF A2. Number four is vocabulary relating to public places like a garden, a restaurant, a cinema, a train station, airport, any public place, because accordingly you can figure out the vocabulary in your head, no matter how little or how vast your vocabulary is at that point. So here I would like to quote one example, a question rather, that I got in my DELF A2 exam, जो मुझे अभी भी याद है, so you can understand. And most of the times it happens to all of the language learners, that whenever we learn a new word, we always remember कि वो word हमने कहाँ से और किस situation और किस scenario में सीखा था, and you never forget that. So this is that kind of example. So there was this question which said, quel document devez-vous présenter pour avoir une carte de fidélité? And number one option was passport, number two was carte bleue, and the third one was une facture. So passport is very similar to English, even the spelling and everything, so you can very easily spot that, okay, this is a passport wala passport. And second one was carte bleue. Now here I got to know that bank cards को carte bleue बोला जाता है, so that is something that I retained from that question, that carte bleue equals to bank cards and facture is the bill. Okay, one tip here, that always while practicing your any exam like DELF or DALF, whatever exam you are preparing for, and there is the comprehension de l'oral where the audio is playing and then you are checking the answers, always go through the transcription, because there you can learn so many new words and so many different ways of saying things, like the practical and more familiar way of speaking that language, French or any other language. So always go through the transcription. Moving on to the next tip. Okay, number 5 is actually it's the same as in DELF A1 and A2. You will notice that there is not much of a difference in preparing for DELF A1 and A2. So you should be able to spot the type of document, like if it's an annonce article, publicité, sondage, report, interview, entretien. तो इनमें से if you can spot the difference कि ये क्या चीज़ है, because there is always this one type of question which talks about the type of document which goes something like this: il s'agit de quel type de document. So then you have the options, and if you don't have a clear idea कि रिपोर्ट कैसी होती है, इंटरव्यू कैसा होता है, और sondage क्या होता है, अनाउंस क्या होता है, इफ़ यू डोंट नो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑल दीज you will not be able to answer that question. So that is very important that you know the difference between all these type of document. Moving on to the sixth tip, this one is more of a comprehension des écrits kind of tip. So whenever you get the question from the written comprehension part, always read the comprehension very carefully, no matter what it is, like it's a letter, it's an email or anything. Just read that comprehension very carefully, because following that comprehension there are a set of questions in which there is one type of question which is like a make or break kind of deal for your exam. If you get those questions correct, you can score like anything, like एकदम सारे सही हो जाते हैं, and if you don't know half of the answer, वो पूरा question wrong हो जाता है. So I'm talking about the justification वाले questions, in which you have one question and then you have the space for the answer, and then you have another part which is the justificative, which means you have to justify your answer. Why are you giving this answer? So in that justificative, the justification part, basically you just have to copy paste the entire phrase or sentence which justifies your answer, and if that justification is not correct, you will not get even the half mark of your answer which is correct, because if your justification is not correct, you don't get any mark. So if you would have read the comprehension clearly, you would be able to pick out the same phrase or sentence that justifies your answer. And also this is a great tip to save some of your time, because as I told you, DELF exams, any language exams, basically are a matter of time management, and here you can save a little bit of extra time if you read the comprehension carefully. And this used to be my favorite type of question, because justification ढूंढ ली तो कभी कभी आंसर भी मिल जाता था, तो it was like, you know, a hand in hand kind of question answer. So इसमें बहुत easily भी नंबर मिल जाते हैं और बहुत easily चले भी जाते हैं. So you got to be very smart and quick about it. Okay, tip number 7. So this tip is particularly for production écrite part of the exam. As you all know that there are four parts of the DELF exams. So each part is of 25 marks. So this is the third part. Learn a few sentences or phrases that will help you write the production écrite very easily, and like most of the times production écrite के typical types होते हैं, like either that question will be asking कि you have to invite someone, like inviter quelqu'un, refuser une invitation, remercier, prendre des nouvelles de quelqu'un. Fifth would be découvrir les projets de vacances de quelqu'un, basically just knowing the vacation plans of somebody, like your friend, your family, your cousin. Sixth would be s'informer sur quelque chose, like you have to give a message, like a basic some important information. So these are the basic types of questions that you get in the production écrite. And if you already have a few sentences about each of the type of production écrite, you will not take that much of time while writing, at least while starting the production écrite. Like if the question talks about inviter quelqu'un, like you have to invite somebody to your place, then you can start by j'aimerais t'inviter chez moi, est-ce que tu peux venir ce soir, or something like that. And same way, if you have to refuse or if you want to refuse, like most of the time there is like a possibility of refusing the invitation that somebody sent you in the question of production écrite. So you can say je suis désolé, je ne peux pas venir parce que so and so, and then you just give your reason. So this is how you start your production écrite. So have a few sentences ready in your head, because that will also save you a little bit of extra time that you can use at the end of your exam and revise or just look through your answers if you have done everything correctly. I do this every time, like school से मुझे ये आदत है कि थोड़ा सा spare time end में होना चाहिए exam के, so that you can just go through your answers and just check you haven't left any question unattended. So और अगर कोई क्वेश्चन ना भी आता हो, ये चीज़ तो मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को आज भी दे रही होती हूँ, अगर इन केस यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड एनी वर्ड और उसकी वजह से यू आर नॉट एबल टू give the answer, so I always suggest them तुक्का मार के आओ, कभी भी कोई भी चीज़ खाली मत छोड़ के आओ. दिस इज़ वॉट आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम माई मॉम. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अगर मैं कभी तुक्का भी मारती थी, कभी कभी सही भी हो जाता था, तो ब्लैंक छोड़ने से अच्छा ऑलवेज ही तुक्का मार दो. एंड समटाइम्स प्रोडक्शन एcrite में यू आर द वन गिविंग सम न्यूज़ टू someone like your friend, your family, your cousin. So in that case you can write j'ai eu une excellente nouvelle à t'annoncer. Most of the time students get it wrong. They write it like j'ai eu une excellente nouvelle à te donner, because they translate basically from English to French, which becomes like I have a great news to give you. So instead of writing donner, try to write annoncer, because that is more French. J'ai une excellente nouvelle à vous donner, parce que that is still a surprise, because I was talking about this thing few vlogs back, and that surprise will be out very soon, so fingers crossed, waiting. So moving on to the next tip. Okay, the next tip is about the part of DELF A2 exam, which is the production orale, in which you have 3 sub parts. One is the general present yourself, présentez-vous part, wherein you just describe yourself, talk about yourself, your hobbies, your likings, dislikings, and a little bit about your family and all that. And then comes the second sub part of this part of DELF A2 exam, which is the monologue suivi, in which you are the one continuously talking about the topic that you choose, because there is a process of choosing the topic. All the students go to the library. Most of the time it's the library. You go to the library, there is a box of chits, and on those chits there are some numbers written on it. So you have to pick out 2 chits and read the topics, and then you have to decide between the two that which topic do you want to talk about. And once you choose that, like if I take out the chits and the numbers are 3 and 7, then you have to figure out which topic you are more comfortable talking about, and then accordingly you have to prepare for that. That is where it's the game changer. Whenever you are preparing the production orale and you have decided your topic, then you get 10 minutes for preparing, and most of the time it's not even 10 minutes. They just call you and they just allot you the room, and then you have to go there and wait there, and there is so much anxiety at that time. तो दिमाग इतना प्रॉपर्ली चलता भी नहीं है, and it's all about time management, because topic इतना simple होते हुए भी people mess it up, and I have done that too. But you have to understand that you are nervous. Once you accept it, all the process becomes way easier. So once you have chosen the topic, always write only the mots-clés, just the main points, the keywords that you want to talk about and that you absolutely want to include in your monologue suivi, because पहली बात, you will not have enough time to write the whole dialogues or whole sentences. 10 minutes में इतना कुछ नहीं हो पाता, because in those 10 minutes you have to think about the topic also, and then you have to take notes of that. You can take that piece of paper, that rough paper, la feuille, you can take that to the room where you have to do the monologue suivi avec l'examinateur. But if you keep on looking at the rough paper, it is not very advisable, and the examinator takes note of that how comfortable you are talking in that language. So if you will keep looking at the rough paper, like the notes that you have made, it will not make sense, it will not do good to you. So it's better you just prepare that in your head and just write the keywords, so that even if you forget that kya bolna tha aage, you can just have a glance at your rough paper, and then acha theek hai, ye keyword tha, I need to phrase the sentence real quick. So that is how you do your monologue suivi. And most of the time, like almost most of the time, the examinator एक तो English और French तोतला बना के छोड़ेगी. The examiners are very jaunty, as they say, because I remember in my DELF A1 exam I was pretty nervous, because सब कुछ करना is very easy, all the 3 parts, but when it comes to production orale, for somebody who is learning French और बहुत basic, A1 में production orale में सब बहुत nervous होते हैं, because you just don't know. कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है मैं जो बोल रही हूँ वो sense भी बना रहा है कि नहीं. So I remember there were some examiners, 2 of them, they were like, no samjhanti, don't worry, take your time. They make you feel comfortable, and even if they don't, you have to take charge and make yourself feel comfortable. One, by accepting that you are nervous and you are feeling anxious and scared. So once you accept that, ça devient beaucoup plus facile qu'avant. So that is my 8th tip, and with that we come to the end of today's video, and I hope you learned a few things from this video, and these tips help you prepare in your DELF A2 preparation, exam preparation. And I will come up very soon with the DELF B1 preparations, because hota pata hai kya hai, French Fridays, they take a lot of time preparing, then shooting, and that is why it takes me, you know, I need to, because ये सब करे हुए मुझे 2-3 साल हो गए, I need to go back in time in my head and then go back in the same situation and how I was feeling, how I prepared, because I literally, like most of you, had no one to look up to, and it was just, you know, hit and trial method most of the time. And talking about this, there is one tip that I don't remember if I gave you in the DELF A1 exam preparation video, is that always go to the library, the bibliothèque. If you are watching from a city where Alliance Française is there in your city, go to the Alliance Française Institute, go to their library and ask for the section Français Facile, because that is the section where all the A1 and A2 learners can actually go and read the book and understand, because most of the time the books are way beyond their level and they cannot understand anything. So it's better you pick up those books from the Français Facile section, because that way you will feel like acha, you are reading, whatever you are reading you are able to understand, if not 100%, at least 60-70% or maybe 80% of it, because that is the section which, you know, I literally ate that section up, I remember. So this is my star tip for all the beginners, all the French learners who are just starting out and they want to have some good books to read, so that they can enhance their French. Go to the Français Facile section, and if not, you can search for the Français Facile books online and order those, and yeah, that will be very helpful to you. So yeah, amigos, I hope you liked this video and learned something from it, and bon chance. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, because that is very, very, very important. Leave your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section, and I'll see you next time on Tuesday at 5 PM, because I upload 2 videos every week. That is going to change. So yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday at 5 PM. Till then, you know what to do. Reve, bouscule et explore. Bye bye.